Thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. We're free and available on all platforms. On today's show, Clint Frazier says goodbye to Yankee fans. CC Sabathia has some things to say about Clint Frazier's goodbye to Yankee fans. And we have a random game of the day.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone. This is Stacey, the host of Locked On Yankees, and today is going to be an interesting one. Clint Frazier said goodbye to Yankee fans, and I defended him. Then I saw what CC Sabathia said about him, which makes me question defending him. It's going to be an interesting show. Anyway, before we get into it, you can listen to us in Apple, Google, Odyssey, Spotify, Stitcher, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube. You can subscribe, like, comment. And when you get into your car, you can tell your smart device to play podcast Locked On Yankees. You can also go into your kitchen or your den or your bedroom, wherever you have one of those smart devices. I have one in my bedroom. I try not to say her name. Occasionally I will accidentally. Then she starts speaking and it's creepy. Anyway, so Clint Frazier. This actually happened the other day, but I didn't get to talk about it. So we're talking about it now. I understand Clint Frazier's frustration with the Yankees to a degree. But the entire time that they had him, they could have traded him. There were many times people thought they would trade him. But I took that to mean that they felt that they had someone in Clint Frazier that they could work with and that they were, going to use as like a cornerstone or like a, part of the foundation for the Yankees, one of the young players. And it just didn't work out that way. As we know, he had the head injury. That affected him. Last season didn't start off great. Then he got hurt again and didn't play after. He didn't play for a while. So I can get his frustration. And oh boy. So on Twitter, he was talking about how excited he was about joining the Cubs and how cool the uniforms are. It wasn't anything bad. And he joked about having to, or being able to leave his razor at home, which a lot of guys who leave the Yankees, or you see a lot of Yankees during winter with facial hair. The facial hair policy is ridiculous. They need to revise it. I get that they don't want guys with Santa Claus beards. That's understandable, and I agree with that. But I feel as if, I don't know, I feel like these guys should be able to have facial hair. As long as it's clean and they don't look slovenly, let them have it. So he tweeted, he said, "Here's to leaving my razor at home." And a fan replied to that tweet saying, "I'm so glad this dude isn't a Yankee anymore." And then Frazier replied with, "So am I," with 4 laughing emojis. Yeah, so Clint Frazier's happy he's not a Yankee anymore. And I know that he was alluding to talking about his experiences with the Yankees and his injury. He was was it during the playoffs? I believe it was during the playoffs. He tweeted something about that and how he couldn't talk about it then. So now that he's with the Cubs, I'm assuming he'll be able to talk about that. So then CC Sabathia was on his R2C2 show with Ryan Ruocco. And I didn't listen. I just saw them, or I saw people talking about this on Twitter. Oh boy. Okay, so CC Sabathia said on his show, "If I see another Clint Frazier story, I'm gonna punch someone in the effing face." Well, effing. S is ridiculous. That kid played 15 games in the effing big leagues. Okay, he played more than 10 games, or 15 games. He actually had some big hits in 2017, so it wasn't as if he was completely useless. But hearing that from CC Sabathia makes me wonder if some of the stuff we heard about Clint Frazier being kind of a pain in the butt, if that's true, because, CC doesn't really hold back from criticizing anyone, and I'm kind of surprised he did it. Some people are coming to Clint Frazier's defense on this. Others are saying CC has every right to say whatever he wants about Clint Frazier. He did play with him. I don't know how to feel about this. Because like I said, seeing what CC said is making me kind of question certain things. Not everything. I feel bad for Clint Frazier. I've said this so many times. What are we up to? Episode 35 of me talking about him. I feel bad for him. He's had a bad injury run, bad luck. And I'm happy that he went to the Cubs. I'm happy he's going to be making money with them. I hope that everything goes well for him there. I hope he gets regular playing time. I hope that when he falls into a slump, he isn't benched right away and he's given the opportunity to come out of that slump. I feel like the Yankees didn't really do that. I also saw some people talking about Frazier. They were basically blaming Clint Frazier for the Yankees being as bad as they were in April. It wasn't just Clint Frazier's fault. And yes, he was dismal. Dismal, abysmal, both of those words work. I don't know. I don't understand how people are so venomous toward Clint Frazier. So let's see. We'll go through all the games he played. Okay. 39 in 2017, 15 in 2018. So maybe CC Sabathia was talking about the 2018 season. 2019, he played in 69, 2020, 39. That was out of 60. And then this year he played in 66. And I believe the last game he played was June, correct? I believe that's what it was. Again, I do feel bad for him. I hope he does well with the Cubs. I just find it interesting that CC said what he did, the way he said it, and as angry as he said it. Although if you listen to R2C2, CC curses a lot. And, as I said, he doesn't mince words and he'll just say whatever he wants to say. But it feels like there's something there, something with Clint Frazier that certain guys didn't like. So it'll be interesting to see if you see anyone else say anything. Like, it's easy for CC to say it because he doesn't play with the Yankees anymore. I wonder if any guys who are still on the Yankees will say something. I hope not, but you never know. It might happen. I was going to say, let's bet and see who the first Yankee player to badmouth Clint Frazier will be. First current Yankee player. CC was the first one who is retired, but let's see who the first Yankee player is. I'm just kidding. But if you want to bet, BetOnline has you covered all season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football season continues its march to the playoffs. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the sports action this season. Head to their new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code LOCKEDON to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. Okay, I don't know if you've been to Stance.com. They have hoodies, they have sweatpants, they have awesome socks. The apparel is really well made. It's super soft. It's entirely unique. It's a lot of fun to wear. And if you're looking forward to purchasing more for yourself and others, Stance gives you the sense of confidence simply by feeling good. Founded in 2009, Stance Apparel represents a radical reinvention of socks, underwear, and active apparel. With a sharp focus on comfort, quality, and creativity, Stance brings an atypical aesthetic alongside some of pop culture's hottest collaborators for the ultimate in style and self-expression, because everything you wear should be a direct extension of who you are and how you feel. Now, I like the MLB socks. I like the Yankee socks. There's a pair of socks that are white with the pinstripes and the interlocking NY that matches my interlocking NY tattoo. Think they're great. Star Wars, First movie I ever saw as a kid, so I love the Star Wars stuff. They have Goonies stuff. Love that movie too. I'm an 80s kid. Now, Stance believes that the perfect fit matters more than fitting in. That those who feel good do good. So go see for yourself. Register for an account at stance.com and get 15% off your first purchase. Use promo code LOCKEDON at checkout to apply. Enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary with Stance. Thanks again for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. We're free and available on all platforms. So, yeah, the Clint Frazier thing is just weird. I don't know. As I said, if players now, like if people who were his teammates recently start coming out and saying bad things about him, it might make me a little more hesitant to defend him, if that makes sense. I don't know. We'll see. So we're going to get into the random game of the day. Now, this game is interesting because I never saw it. And I was alive. It wasn't as if it happened in the 60s or 50s. It happened on May 23rd, 2001. The reason I did not see it is I had surgery that day. I had it that morning, and I went to bed at 6:30 because the anesthesia, I don't know, I have a strange reaction to anesthesia. The 2 times that I've had eye surgery that I can recall, because I had one at 9 months old, don't remember it. When I was 9, and the one in 2001, I had not bad reactions to the anesthesia, but I just didn't come out of it the way you're supposed to. You know, it was supposed to be go to the hospital, have the surgery, go home, which is what happened. I was exhausted. I slept until, I think, 10 o'clock the next morning. And then I felt fine, other than the, stabbing pain in my eyeball because I had my lazy eye straightened. Oh, it's not straight anymore. If you're watching on YouTube, you notice that it veers out to the left. Apparently, the universe wants me to have a wonky eye no matter what I do. So anyway, Yankees-Red Sox, Wednesday, May 23rd, 2001 at Yankee Stadium. The attendance was 44,108, which is kind of shocking, but it was a Wednesday night. It wasn't as if it was a Sunday. Oh, that's also kind of strange that the Yankees and Red Sox were playing a midweek series. That does happen from time to time. The game I spoke about the other day, where they walked off on Jonathan Papelbon, was in the middle of the week as well. But it always feels strange when the Yankees and Red Sox don't play on a weekend and they don't have an ESPN or a Sunday night game or a Fox game. So let's go through the lineups. I love doing this. Red Sox, Jose Offerman, John Valentin, Carl Everett, Manny Ramirez, Dante Bichette, Shea Hillenbrand, Jason Varitek, Mike Lansing, Darren Lewis. And your starting pitcher, this is my favorite part of the box score, David Cone. Yeah, okay. For the Yankees, Chuck Knobloch, Derek Jeter, Paul O'Neill, Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez, David Justice, Jorge Posada, Scott Brocious, Alfonso Soriano, and Andy Pettitte was the starter because, of course, he was. Now, the Red Sox were 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. The Yankees were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. That sounds funny. That sounds familiar. That sounds like the 2021 Yankees. I don't know why my voice keeps going up. Anyway, David Cone ended up pitching 5 innings. Pettitte went 8 1/3, or 1/3. So he had a pretty good outing. Cone, okay, he just didn't last long, but he did pick up the loss. But let's go through the game, see what happened, how it started, how it ended, who the heroes were, that sort of thing. So Andy Pettitte set down the Red Sox 1-2-3 in order in the first inning. Fly ball to right, fly ball to right, fly ball to left. Works for me. Knobloch struck out against Cone. Jeter hit a double. Paul O'Neill struck out looking. He hit Bernie Williams with a pitch. How dare you hit your former teammate with a pitch? Tino Martinez grounded out. Manny Ramirez hit a single to center field. Pettitte uncorked a wild pitch while Bichette was up, so Manny made it to second. Then he walked Bichette. Shea Hillenbrand hit a force out at second. Ramirez made it to third. He made it to first. And then Varitek hit a double play. Okay. Double play, fly ball to left field, sacrifice fly. Okay. Manny Ramirez scored, and then Hillenbrand was thrown out at second. So Ramirez scored before Hillenbrand was thrown out at second. So the Red Sox went up 1-0. So the bottom of the second was quiet. Top of the third was quiet. Bottom of the third, Knobloch hits a fly ball. Jeter hits a single. Fly ball out. Jeter hits a single. Paul O'Neill hits a fly ball to center field for the second out, and then Bernie Williams gets revenge on Cone for hitting him with a pitch. 2-run home run puts the Yankees up 2-1. Tino Martinez hits a single, and then David Justice strikes out looking. Andy Pettitte comes back, pitches a 1-2-3 top of the fourth. Cone has a 1-2-3 bottom of the fourth. Pettitte has a 1-2-3 top of the fifth. Bottom of the fifth. Knobloch, fly ball to center. Jeter, a single. Okay, Jeter that's his third hit of the night. Paul O'Neill, a single. Bernie Williams hit a ground out. There was a force out at second. Jeter made it home. Then while Tino was up, Bernie stole second, and then Tino flied out to left. Andy Pettitte has another 1-2-3 inning in the top of the sixth. He gets Offerman to fly out, Valentin to fly out, Carl Everett to strike out swinging. Every time I see Carl Everett's name, especially in 2001, it makes me irrationally angry because of what happened later that season to Mike Mussina. Oh, speaking of Moose, yesterday was his birthday, December 8th. Happy birthday. I think I told you all this. I went to the ceremony on September 1st, 2019, when they had Moose Day, before the Yankees walked off against the A's. I loved it. I nearly cried. My eyeballs got wet, but nothing came streaming down my face, so I don't count that as crying, but it was magical. I love Moose. It was so great. Anyway, so yeah, anytime I see Carl Everett's name, I think of Moose and the broken up perfect game. But Moose gets the last laugh. He's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Where's Carl Everett? Okay, I'm just kidding. Bottom of the sixth, Tim Wakefield comes in to replace Cone. He gets Justice to strike out swinging. He walks Jorge Posada. Scott Brocious reaches on an E5. Posada makes it to third. Soriano hits a fly ball to left. It's a sac fly. Posada actually scores. Must have been really deep to left if Posada could score, because Posada used to run like he had a piano strapped to his back while wearing a loaded diaper. That's the way I describe him running. Sorry, Jorge, but it's true. Chuck Knobloch hits a fly ball to right to end the inning. The Yankees are up 4-1 at this point. Pettitte has a 1-2-3 top of the seventh. Derek Jeter leads off the bottom of the seventh with a home run off Wakefield. What a night for Derek Jeter. It's 5-1 Yankees, and then Wakefield gets O'Neill to ground out, Williams to strike out swinging, Tino Martinez to hit a ground out back to Wakefield, throws it to first, gets the out. So yes, Yankees up 5-1. Andy Pettitte, top of the eighth, 1-2-3 inning. Wow, I missed a really good pitching performance by Andy Pettitte. Now I feel bad that I was passed out. Bottom of the eighth, Rod Beck. I love these old box scores with these names. Rod Beck replaces Tim Wakefield pitching. David Justice hits a single. Jorge Posada hits a home run. So the Yankees are up 7-1. Brocious strikes out looking. Soriano hits a single to left. Knobloch hits a fly ball to center field. Jeter hits a single. Of course he does. Henry Rodriguez pinch hits for Paul O'Neill and grounds out to end the inning. The Yankees are up 7-1 at this point. Andy Pettitte starts the top of the ninth. He walks Jose Offerman. Then John Valentin hits a fly ball to center. Carl Everett hits a single. And then Manny Ramirez hits a double that scores both Offerman and Everett. So Mike Stanton comes in to replace Pettitte. He gets Dante Pichette to ground out and Shea Hillenbrand to ground out to end the game. Yankees win 7-3. So let's go back up to the box score because I need to see everything. So Derek Jeter was 5 for 5 with 3 runs scored and an RBI. I would say that he was the hero of the game for the Yankees, as well as Andy Pettitte pitched. Jeter was the one that, if he didn't do all that, if he didn't score those 3 runs, it would have been a much closer game. But yeah, Pettit pitched 8 innings, gave up the 3 runs on 6 hits with 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, did not surrender a home run. Cone, Wakefield, and Beck each surrendered a home run. Cone pitched. He threw. I always do that. I do that so much. If you listen to this show or you watch this show, for some reason, I always screw that up, and I don't know why. He threw 84 pitches in those 5 innings. It was exactly 5 innings. And let's see, Pettit pitched the 8 1/3, and he threw 108 pitches with 71 strikeouts. 71 strikeouts. That would be a record that no one would ever break. Anyway, yeah, that was May 23rd, 2001. And I missed it. Had no idea that any of this happened. Oh, let's go through. Sorry, I forgot to do that. Jerry Lane was your home plate umpire. Paul Schreiber was first base. Tony Randazzo, second base. Ed Montague, third base. Those are all familiar names. It was cool that night, only 51. The wind was 13 miles an hour from left field, cloudy with drizzle. See, was it a bad day it wasn't a bad day that day. Maybe the rain came in after that, because it wasn't rainy when I left the hospital to go home. I don't think, if I recall correctly. But anyway, like I said, I don't remember. I was asleep when this game happened. So my favorite thing about looking at box scores like this and looking at games, like I said, seeing guys like Rod Beck, even Jose Offerman, seeing David Cone pitch for the Red Sox, that's always trippy because he only played for them for that little bit. But as he said, that, and I think the stuff with the Mets didn't really help him with Steinbrenner. I think Steinbrenner got pissed. So, I like that Cone's involved with the Yankees again and doing all that good stuff, but it is kind of funny that I remember actually being pissed that he went to the Red Sox. I wasn't happy about that at all. I understand why. I know that things didn't end that great with the Yankees, and 2000 was just an S show for Cone, and he did have that one moment in the World Series. But going to the Red Sox, man, I don't know. That was bad. That could have been bad. That could have been a lot worse. So, yeah, it's always trippy seeing that. And who else was a fun name? Well, the Henry Rodriguez pinch hitting for Paul O'Neill thing. Henry Rodriguez. Like, what? That's crazy. Especially because he played the majority of his career in the National League. He played for the Dodgers. He played for Montreal. He played for the Cubs. He played for the Florida Marlins. Then he went to the Yankees. He only appeared in 5 games with the Yankees. Didn't get any sort of hit or anything. Only had 8 at-bats in those 5 games. And then went back to Montreal in 2002. So he played a total of 11 years in the majors. And I don't even really recall him being on the Yankees. Huh. Funny how that works. But it's true. You have a lot of guys like that. And I know I say this all the time, and I really want to do this because my brother suggested that we do this one time. But we need to have a game where we name random guys. And was he ever a Yankee? Wasn't he a Yankee? Because there's so many guys that you don't remember being Yankees. And I say this all the time. The mid-2010 teams, there are a lot of those guys on those teams. And it's hilarious when you think about some of the guys that ended up on the Yankees in those days. It felt like the Yankees had everyone play for them at one point. I mean, of course, there are major guys that never played for them, like Manny Ramirez never did, and Curt Schilling. It's not like, there are some Red Sox Yankee carryover guys. Obviously Johnny Damon. Who else? Oh, why can't I think? Mankiewicz. That's it. Alan Embry. Who else? Like, there were other guys, And it's just funny to see certain names attached to the Yankees. I mean, even if you just appear in one game, you technically played for the Yankees. So that's a fun thing about baseball, isn't it? Yeah, I like that sort of stuff. So coming up for the remainder of December, there are going to be some days where I do these random games, but I spend most of the show on them. If you recall, I wrote for the Hardball Times, and I had a series called Random Box Scores. And I would take a random box score, and I would tell the story of the game, tell the story of the players, the managers, the coaches, what was happening at the time, number one song, movie, to give you a setting, if you will. So you know what it was like when that game took place. And I would like to do this for random Yankee games. It might be a throwback Thursday. It might be a way back Wednesday. It might be a flashback Friday. It's not going to happen all the time because I'm telling you right now, it takes a lot of work to write out those things. I mean, my pieces used to be between 3,000 and 3,500 words. It's a lot, but I feel like it could be a lot of fun to look at some of these games, especially games from the 70s, the 80s, even the 60s. If we go back that far, it could be fun. And, the Yankees have played in a ton of games. And any lockout news that we have, obviously, we will give it to you. And any bad-mouthing of Clint Frazier that happens, I'll let you know all about that. But I just wanted to give you a lay of the land and let you know what's happening. And so I like these random trips. Wait, hello. Let's try that again. These random trips back to the past. I think it's fun. I like looking at what happens in a game. I like looking at the names. I just think it's a lot of fun. And I think you'll have fun going back with me. So be on the lookout for that. For now, that's it for this episode of Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'd like to remind you that you can listen to this show in Apple Podcasts, Odyssey, Spotify, Stitcher, Google, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can watch and subscribe to us on YouTube. And when you get into your car, you can tell your smart device to play podcast Locked On Bets. Now make your second listen of the day Locked On Bets, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets, hosted by your boy Q with expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. One more thing, if you could be so kind, please rate the podcast and spread the word about this podcast to your fellow Yankee fans. So enjoy it's Thursday, right? Yes, enjoy your Thursday, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.